Hello, I am Pagetohs, clan leader of Educate, bringing you further games in our clan tournament with just team members. So team kills left, right and centre, grudges to be born all throughout people's StarCraft 2 careers. We're into our second set of games and we will now open it up here for you today. For this match we have our own Mooch, at the bottom right pink Terran, what a lovely colour, against our own Merathax, the top left, spawning as the blue Terran player here on Akalom Wastes. In the previous games we saw Golvin beat L at a 2-0 in his first rounds, advancing L down to the losers bracket and Golvin into round 2. So hopefully after those games we'll see more competitiveness, we will see anger, we will see tears, we will see emotions and pride of these people's place. We got two Terran players here for you. Mirror matchups, what are we going to see from them? Which one knows their race better? Which one can play better? And that's what we're here to see today. Now both of them, production wise, going for typical wall off on the main ramp, keeping themselves safe. Walling off not necessarily such a huge thing against Terran in my own opinion, merely because of their constant range, but what do I know, I'm just a gold level Protoss player. I'm very sorry, I've been talking a lot this last hour, I'm very dry in my mouth, even though I keep drinking water, it doesn't always help. So, scout coming out for Mooch, heading towards Merathax's base. Nothing from Merathax yet, except that both of them barracks down by the looks of the production tabs. Merathax is slightly ahead. Now, by not sending out a scout, he is gaining a 40 minerals per second lead on Mooch. Will he actually use this or not? We will see. Mooch's scout coming up, seeing that he's pretty much being mirrored for what he's doing. Merathax taking a refinery before Mooch, and he will see this, so probably expecting a bit of Reaper harass at the start. Mooch's own refinery going down. Mooch's SCV gets surrounded there, getting killed off, but that means less mining time for Merathax. So both players pretty much opening up at exactly the same, except for no scout coming from Merathax here. Both walling off at the front, taking a refinery. So will we see Reapers or will we merely see tech? Mooch is the second in command here at Educate, so I do hope he will represent. For those of you interested in Educate, at the start of the video is our clans page. Please head on over, have a look. We're all about taking on new people, learning, growing, improving, meeting people. If this sounds like something you enjoy, if you're a low level player, if you're a high level player, we've got places to put you. We'll happily teach you what we know. And we hope that you'll do the same. So both of them pretty much again mirroring each other still at this point. Both taking an orbital command. A factory has come down for Merathax. And Marine is in production. One whole Marine. I mean, at the moment, worker count pretty much mirrored 17 to 16 of Merathax, but Mooch actually's production bar is empty, so Merathax is taking a slight lead there. Army and work supply, but at the moment it's inconsequential in my opinion. Command center going down at the main. Mooch gonna lift it up and probably take his natural expand here when he can. That Merathax is continuing to produce Marines at a steady pace. His factory is almost a completion. He has taken a second refinery. Both players making sure they do not get supply blocked. Always important. Always something you should be aware of is your supply. Tech Lab also coming down on the first barracks of Mooch, so he will now be looking to start spending the gas he is gaining. Second refinery is almost at completion, but by the looks of it, Mooch is going to be playing a heavier infantry play than Merathax. Merathax getting the armory and a tech lab, so I'm thinking we could be seeing Hellbats here. Hellbat drop, maybe. SCVs burning, who doesn't love that smell in the morning? Bunker coming down at the natural expansion for Mooch, so he is being careful. Siege tank in production back for Merathax, and Stim has been start to research for Mooch. Both players playing very differently. Then we're gonna look. It does look like we will be seeing heavier, more infantry tech for Mooch, whereas Merathax just going for reactor, just gonna keep pumping out Marines. And siege tank coming in for defensive play by the looks of it. Armory is also down, so upgrades coming in. If that armory is complete, we may start to see fire bats. Will he go for a starport and go for the drops? Mooch is a big fan of his drops, but he's a very economy focused player as well. So by the looks of it, if he's going to play by his standard, he will take this second base, he will get it up and running, and then his production will just explode. A 4 in production for Merathax back at home actually. Merathax going for really heavy mech play early on. I believe that ping is, again, from an observer. Not quite sure. It's pointing at the at the rocks. They're very pretty. Thank you, observer. So, Siege Tank is sieged up at home. Both people sitting at home quite heavily. Widow Mine in production and a starport for Mooch. Merathax still producing that first 4, but he is getting that vehicle's weapons level 1 from the armory. So yes, we're going to see a mech play here. Always interesting. I don't think we see mech plays often enough. I am too fed up of seeing a giant bio ball at my front door, I'll be honest with you. In fact, my back door is even worse, let's be honest. When Marines and Hellbats suddenly drop at your base, doesn't it just anger you? So, Mooch also getting his own siege tank now at this point, and his starport is producing a Medevac. So Mooch, again, carefully taking his defensive stance, building up his wall around his bunker, making sure that nobody can just wander into his natural. Engineering bay going down, so possibly going to see a couple of AA turrets go down as well in order to try and fend off a few drops. Merathax has supply blocked himself, so we've got 2 supply depots going down at this time with this 4 being completed. Another one is waiting in the wings for production, paid for, but nothing will happen until these supply depots are down. Research just over halfway for vehicle weapons damage. 2 more barracks in production, taking Mooch up to a total of 3 barracks. A siege tank sitting near his mineral line in case of any aggressive drops that are coming in. 2nd engineering base, so Mooch really looking to hammer out those infantry upgrades. Not a lot of actual unit production. Another siege tank coming. He does have his barracks filled with a couple of Marines. He's got 1 or 2 at home. So again, still just focusing down on his base more than his units at this point. And in fact, actually, if we take a look at the supply, yes, Mooch has taken the economy supply, but 33 army versus 16. At this point, Mooch may be leaving his defense a little bit too thin. More Marines and vehicle plating is coming in. An armory has gone down for Mooch, and he's starting to get his tech labs, starting to get his reactors. So again, as I said, we will start to see Mooch's production explode if I'm correct here. His research is going into 1-1 on his infantry. And it looks like he's got a quite nice levels, still producing a couple of SCVs, almost got that happily saturated. 16 works on the mineral line, not wanting to overly mine it, not wanting those diminishing returns off those SCVs back at his main, and by looks of it the same. Only 2-2 on his refineries though. Now at the front door, what have we got? We've got Marines, we got siege tanks, we got 2-4s, and we got SCVs. So it looks like Mooch doesn't actually have a lot, other than this barracks is going to go down very quickly. He sieges up the thing. Mooch has nothing to hold this off actually at this point. 1 siege tank gonna go down, taking out a few Marines with it. The 2nd one not even have a chance to siege up. Medevacs aren't gonna do you any damage there, Mooch. Mooch's entire defensive line has dropped down. He's gonna lose the armory, and by the looks of it, he's gonna lose his expansion, if not the first round of this match. The remaining units of Merathax focusing it down on those engineering base, denying him too many upgrades, trying to take down the expand as it floats away. Mooch has hidden his SCVs away. Well, maybe not hidden, but they are away. A scan goes down from Mooch by the looks of it to just keep an eye on how much he's got to deal with. Siege tanks up on the high ground, the wall is there, Medevacs are there. In production, unfortunately Mooch is now supply blocked. Merathax really should be pushing at this point. He should continue to push, but he seems to be waiting for reinforcements. If he pushes, there's nothing Mooch can do. He cannot produce at this time. He's got 6 supply depots in production. Back at home, Merathax, a couple of SCVs have been produced, and a siege tank, a couple of Marines slowly trickling over. Merathax really does need to go for the push at this point. He can take this game nice and early if he does. For some reason, opting to take out the rocks that block off the 2nd expand, but I don't see why. He's got a perfectly open door here. You do not need a 2nd one. This is the door you need to be breaking down. Going for level 2 vehicle weapons. He has taken his own expand at this point, so but Mooch, sorry, how will I miss that? Mooch has sent out in his own drop of a, I'm sorry, I was so focused on the army of Merathax there. This expand's not going to go down, but it is going to be useless at this point. Merathax having to lift off his command center and move it away. A siege tank sitting here, but the Mooch is going to pick up his units and take them into the main. And again, there is nothing at home to defend Merathax. Merathax is going to lose quite a lot of his SCVs here unless he pulls them off the line to defend. At the moment, though, Merathax is going through the front door. Siege tanks have a raining hell down, though, on the infantry and the SCVs. Marines focusing down the front forward. Merathax seems to have wasted his advantage at this point. With his SCV count just completely destroyed at home. I mean, worker supply down to 15. I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten the hotkeys here. Control R is what I'm after. 37 workers killed. Merathax took the advantage early, but wait, what do we got here? Siege tank is sieged up, but the SCVs that Mooch managed to hide on his expand are going to come and surround. And are we gonna? It looks like we're gonna see a siege tank get taken down by a pack of wild SCVs who are hungry for metal, and down it goes. Merathax has nothing back at base anymore, denied by this one small drop of what I believe was only 4 infantry units. Mooch, is due to his high level production buildings, has now managed to build up his own little army and is bringing back his expand, gonna take it back. He hasn't lost a lot of SCVs, but he's loading him up. He loads up for a drop, and by the looks of it, actually, I do apologize. I thought Merathax was going to take this game. If he'd kept pushing at the start, he really would have, because Mooch had nothing left at home once he's lost his expand. But now it looks like it's the other way around. Merathax trying to macro back up. A couple of SCVs in production, a couple of Marines and a siege tank. They're all the front door, but nothing to defend the main base, which is where Mooch is going. He is not going to wander through that front door. He is going to go and take out the tech buildings of Merathax. Siege tank coming out and suddenly finding himself in a whole lot of hell. Marines pumping up, but he's just outnumbered, outgeared, and completely out-medivac. There are no medivacs on the field. There's the GG from Merathax. Mooch taking this game 1-0. How, though? I do not know. Some solid defense? Not necessarily. Merathax should have been more aggressive, and he could have taken this game himself. Unfortunately, he held back too long after taking out Mooch's first expand, and that has cost him the game, as Mooch was able to build up and retaliate completely. With nothing left at home, Merathax lost all his SCVs, he lost all his income, and when he pushed to the front door, it was too late, and he lost his whole army, leaving Mooch free to drop back at base. Well, 1-0 down to Mooch here on Akelone Waste. Round 2 coming up next. Thank you for joining us.